Yes, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show, the show that keeps you up to date with what's going on in the world of finance, current affairs, business, lifestyle, and many more. My name is Nanaya Wasari, and today I'm anchoring the show together with my colleague Peter Kojo-Insia, and then we'll be diverging and going into major current affairs issues, or major current issues, I should say, that the country is being faced with, and we are going to talk about how to seem to find a way out of these major challenges that we do have. And I said as well that I'm here with a very good company, that is Peter Kojo-Insia, and today we'll be going deeper into all these issues that are faced before us. But before we do anything, before we start, we know we always have to do it over here, right, on Koko Digest Morning Show. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. So in case you need to leave your TV set, you don't need to leave the Koko Digest Morning Show. And yes, we'll take a breaker and then we'll come back with the motivation for the day. Yes, today our daily dose of Vim is coming from Max Dupree, and he says that we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. He says we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are, and this is coming from Max Dupree. He says that you may not know exactly where you're going yet, but growth requires you to keep moving and allowing yourself to become someone different from who you are today. Max Dupree says that we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. Peter, how does this particular statement resonate with you?
I mean, it means that progress is something that we should all embrace. I mean, we strive to move forward every day in life, and so trying to be comfortable at one place means that you're not going anywhere. So once you want to go somewhere, then it means that you have to take conscious efforts by, making one step at a time. And so it's very deep, and it resonates with most of we the young ones. And so it's a deep quote, and it's actually speaking to us directly.
So I'm sure this particular quote speaks to you directly as well. We cannot become what we are by remaining what we are. What we want, I should say, by remaining what we are. And this is coming from the camp of Max Dupree, and it's something that should resonate with all of us right here in this morning. You can also let us know what this particular quote means to you by texting us on WhatsApp 0500500421. That's the number that you can send us a WhatsApp message on. A kind reminder that we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you go on there, you search for Clock TV, you'll be able to watch us live and in color. So in case you need to leave your TV set, you don't need to leave the Koko Digest Morning Show. And yes, we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. This is coming from Max Dupree. At this particular point in time, we are going to go for a short break. When we come back, Peter is going to take us through what the weather looks like today and then for the rest of the day. And we'll also take our word of the day. So don't go anywhere. This is the Koko Digest Morning Show.
As always, good morning to you, our cherished viewers, and thank you for always choosing the best, the Koko Digest Morning Show. As usual, it's time for the weather report from the Ghana Meteorological Agency. And as always, today we have a video for you. Let's take a look at it. When we come back, I will give you the specifics. Just give you a summary of what you just watched and the specific, what is going to happen in Accra, specifically Aflao, Kaswa, and other parts of the country. And so getting into the summary, GMED says early this morning, mist or fog patches are expected over parts of the forest, mountainous and coastal areas, leading to reduced visibility. Most cloudy conditions will prevail across all sectors, with a few places likely to experience rain. Later in the day, clouds will give way to intervals of sunshine over most areas. However, rain and thunder clouds may form in some areas in the transition and northern sectors later in the afternoon and in the evening hours as well. So the people of Accra this morning, GMED says there's 30% chance of rain, that is slight rain, 30%. And then in the afternoon, we are going to experience sunny intervals. And in the evening, it's going to be partly cloudy. The people of Kaswa this morning too, GMED says there's 30% chance of slight rain, sunny intervals in the afternoon, and partly cloudy weather in the evening. The people of Kumasi and Obuasi and Ketekrachi, GMED says there's 30% chance of rain this morning. And then in the afternoon, it is going to be variably cloudy, and then most cloudy in the evening as well. The people of Wa and Drapa, GMED says you should expect 30% chance of rain this morning with sunny interval condition in the afternoon. And then for the people of Damango and Boliga, Damango and Nelerigu, GMED says there's 40% chance of rain this evening. The remaining parts of the country is going to remain mostly cloudy this evening. And for the state of the sea today, it is rough. And as we like to do it, if you are in some of these areas that you should expect rain, please make sure that you put your things in place. And where it is going to be sunny, please make sure that you carry along with you some umbrellas and reduce your exposure to the sun. And then take in more water and stay safe and act accordingly. Anna, that'll be all for the weather.
Thank you very much, Peter, for such an adept weather update. Thank you very much. And moving on, we'll be having our word for the day. We always like to educate you and to also let you understand certain words. And then today, the word for the day is actually quite interesting because it's something that, as we go on, my first sentence is going to make you understand. The word for the day today is mellifluous. Mellifluous. It's spelled mellifluous. Mellifluous. And the meaning of the word is pleasant and smooth to hear, especially when describing a voice. So mellifluous, pleasant and soothing to hear, smooth to hear, especially when describing a voice. That's the word for the day. And Peter, I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot. Yes. Can you form a sentence with mellifluous?
Right. So I'll pick it from political aspects.
Yes.
So I would say politicians often use mellifluous words to make painful economic policies, like the DDEP, the Domestic Debt Exchange Program. It sounds good, sweet in the ears, but behind it is something, very painful.
That's an interesting one, Peter.
Exactly.
For me, because constantly we are receiving feedback from our production crew, and then there's one particular person whose voice is very mellifluous.
Right.
And I'm going to say Melissa's voice is mellifluous when instructing us on the Koko Digest Morning Show. So that is the word for today. That's the word for the day. And then we'll be zoning into our online segment, right, Peter, if the time allows us to do so. And then let me just ask you, what are some of the trending news and topics that are happening around?
Right. So, Nana, a whole lot is actually trending. As we stated earlier, because of time, we wouldn't be able to tackle most of them. And especially, yesterday we saw some group of people demonstrating, and they went to Jubilee House to actually present their petition. They're saying that they were expecting, either the president or the vice president or the chief of staff to actually take their, petition and all that. And so they didn't give it to Dr. Samuel Aye. He was the one who was actually appointed to, take the petition on behalf of government. And so it's also trending. And also we cannot, we cannot do away with the issue of Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, Gold Board CEO, the minority leader in Parliament, and then the
he
Bank
made some
of Ghana.
interesting remarks.
Exactly.
Concerning the current minority speaker as well.
Exactly.
So yes, you can move on as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very interesting. Proud to this, we saw so many press conferences, talking about the losses incurred by the Bank of Ghana, where the minority leader and some other people also saying that those losses were incurred by Gold Board. And then the CEO of Gold Board also came out, tweeted, a whole lot saying that although some losses were made, and we can't say that those losses were as a result of the dealings of Gold Board. And so yesterday during the accountability series, he made mention of so many things, which of course time will not permit us to go through. And I'm sure that most of our viewers actually watched because it was streamed on Clock TV as well. And so what I would just say is that with what is trending, I wasn't particularly happy because of how we are looking at the situation, because most people are looking at it from a political lens, and it is something that we shouldn't politicize. It's a very interesting, subject matter that we have to deal with it accordingly without, politicizing it. And so all that I would say in summary is that Afenyo Markins, the minority leader, has, a point to prove, because accountability is the most important thing we are expecting from our leaders as well. And then Gold Board, the CEO, also has a point, saying that even in as much as some debt were incurred, you can't say that it was as a result of Gold Board dealings. And then the Afenyo Markin also talking about the 1.7 billion debt is also something that we need to know as Ghanaians. We need to know who caused it and the way forward. What are some of the things that we can do to prevent, future, losses like this? Because whether we like it or yes, this is Ghana, this is Gold Board. And then even the IMF says that when the Gold Board was actually scaled up, they made some, improvements, adding up to our FX and all of that. And so I would say that the CEO of Gold Board is right, Afenyo Markin is right, and then IMF too has also made a point. But the clarification we had yesterday was that IMF did not say that Gold Board actually incurred those losses, and it is the Bank of Ghana. But right now, we are trying to play blame games. We are looking for who actually caused.
So definitely there is a loss.
Exactly,
but
there's
it is
a loss.
Who has caused the loss that has become the issue of concern.
Right now, yes.
And when you look at where things are coming from, the Gold Board says that we have not incurred any losses. When you look at our trading accounts, when you look at all those things, we've not incurred losses. When you look at our operational accounts as well, it doesn't seem that we've incurred losses.
Exactly.
But the Bank of Ghana may have incurred those losses.
Yes.
But minority, from Afenyo Markin's point of view, is that so far as there are losses in the prices of gold, in the tradable prices of gold at the Bank of Ghana, and then whatever we have there, then it means that you have actually incurred the loss.
Yes.
But it seems that everyone is pointing the blame at you and I, but there's been a loss and it has to be attended to.
Exactly. And then he made reference to the IMF, report published. And yesterday, Sami Gyamfi, the CEO, made us aware that IMF did not specifically state that Gold Board actually caused it. Yeah. But in all this, they've all accepted that there was some form of loss, and that is 1.7 billion. And then prior to 2020,
that's a lot of,
there's some amount, 400 billion or something or so. And so in order to solve this issue, I am looking forward to the external auditing, which of course he said that it should be ready by the third quarter of 2026, so that you'll get to find out where this loss actually came from and the way forward. And so I don't like it because we are politicizing it and we are playing blame games. I know it is part of political gymnastics, but then it is becoming too much. Accountability is very imperative. As the biggest opposition party, it is their responsibility to criticize government, but when
it's the responsibility of put politics aside. It's the responsibility of every Ghanaian to actually put the government to book whenever we realize that there's been a loss, irrespective of where this loss is coming from, whether operational costs, whether trading costs, anything. there's been a loss, and this loss is very damning when it comes to the prices of our commodities, because you realize that our currency was mainly anchored on gold for these past few years, and we've actually seen some inroads, but then for some time now, just about a week ago, the currency has become also very volatile, because we saw it drop all the way to 10.94 some few days back, and now it's risen back into the 11s, and then you realize that such instability cannot be used to actually grow the economy. So it's something that we have to really look at. So whether there's been a loss when it comes to operational costs from the Bank of Ghana, from the Gold Board, all we need is accountability, Peter.
Exactly. Period. And so I think that Gold Board, with the insertion of Gold Board, they've actually done something really good to the economy of Ghana.
Very well.
And so we need to appreciate that and ensure that we come together as one and find the way forward, how the Gold Board is actually going to help, create jobs and all that. Because looking at when the CEO was speaking, he said that they made some form of profit. How can we translate, these profits that they are making into something meaningful for the ordinary Ghanaian? And also, they are doing something very imperative in order to ensure that, should in case we go back to those days like the COVID-19 era and all that, we wouldn't be finding ourselves wanting. And so they've introduced what we call the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy, and they are targeting 15 months import cover by the end of by the end of 2028 or so. And so it's something that we should look up to, and then we should structure it very well and see where the lapses and where we can take advantage of. And then Nana, the last one that I made mention of, the DDEP, and then the Ministry of Finance has actually come out to say that they've made some payment of 10.82 billion to the domestic debt exchange program, like holders, the bond holders, which is of course a very good news. But then analysts are saying that we have about 111 billion Ghana cedis to settle, which will be which will mature in the next 2 years, with 58 billion maturing.
Which will mature in the next year, actually.
Yes, and then 53 billion in 2028. And so people are saying that the 2027 own will be the test of time, whether we will slip back into the hands of IMF or we are going to have measures in place to ensure that we pay those debts.
Just because you mentioned the domestic debt exchange program, I was invited to a meeting at the Ministry of Finance some few weeks ago to discuss this particular thing. So what they are actually doing is, the assurance I received from the debt office, because we sat in a meeting with the IMF and we sat with the debt office from the Ministry of Finance, I think on the 4th floor at the Akanda office. So when we got there, what they are trying to do, or what they are trying to do, is to reduce the financial burden on the government. So when it comes to the ability for the government to pay, I was assured by one of them that this is an inside information, by the way. That's why you need to stay with the Koko Digest morning show. So we were assured that the government has amassed well over 50 billion Ghana cedis, and then in order to pay the rising debt of 2027, which is around 51 billion. So it's just short of 1 billion, and by the end of this particular year, they'll be able to cover all of that. That was the assurance that we got from the debt office. And another thing that they are trying to do is that if you should think that maybe to prevent liquidity issues and to prevent settlement issues. So what they are doing is they are trying to engage all stakeholders. If you want to receive yours earlier, maybe by the end of the year at a discounted rate, that is, they are going to reduce the rates, but you are going to get instant liquidity. Then you are also going to you're invited to do so, and then they'll do that for you. So these are some of the measures that the government or the Ministry of Finance is putting in place so that settlements can be done without having any liquidity issues. So this one, I don't want to be a PRO for the Ministry of Finance, but from the meeting that I went and I saw the people from the IMF, representatives from Brazil, representatives from Switzerland and the likes, what they have assured us is that there's assurance that it's definitely going to be settled. But if you want yours to be settled earlier, then you can actually come for a discounted one. And I'm sure that with these arrangements in place, that's where the other maybe 1-point-something billion is going to come out from, in case you want early settlements. But definitely, settlement is assured for for almost all of them. I'll be forced to eat back my words if this is not the case. But that is the assurance that I received when we had the meeting at the Ministry of Finance with the representatives from IMF.
Right. Thank you very much for that clarification. And I'm sure that, most pensioners are now happy because they are at least receiving something. And then once they're able to, pay like you rightly stated, it is going to bring back confidence. And they would like to also give back as well. And we are not praying that we go back to those dark days where we would have to do this haircut and all that. And so, like you stated, I'm also confident. And even the Minister of Finance during the mid-year budget review stated that they've established some sinking fund that they are, actually, gathering some money there to ensure that maybe they will add up to whatever they've accumulated so far. So going forward, I think that we are just hopeful. We are just hoping that things go the right way.
Sometimes it's the hope that kills, but let's just give the Ministry of Finance the benefit of the doubt, looking at the inroads that they've made on the economy in this past few years, especially when it comes to this particular government. But moving on, we'll be talking about the road safety issues. We have Mr. Felix Owusu, the Senior Planning Manager of National Road Safety Authority, Greater Accra Region, who will be joining us shortly. And we'll be talking about the reason why we want to talk about road safety issues is because when you look at the Ofankopo Kwase Road, last Tuesday we had accidents. Just in a matter of just a few days, less than a month, we've had over 15 lives that have been lost on that particular stretch. If I'm not over exaggerating, it's quite alarming. So we'll be having discussions on that alongside, as time goes on in the show, I should say, Mr. Felix Owusu, who is the Senior Planning Manager for the National Road Safety Authority, Greater Accra Region, will be calling us, and then we'll be speaking to him, and we'll be finding out what they are going to do on the topic. Rising crashes, what is the National Road Safety Authority doing? We want to understand what they are doing to curb this particular instance, because on that same Ofankopo Kwase stretch, it's very damning, and it's not very good for where we are going, especially when we are approaching the celebratory period, getting to the end of the year where people will be traveling quite often. But Peter, let's just put this story aside for a second. We'll come back to it when Mr. Felix Owusu calls us. What I want us to talk about at the moment is an issue, whether maybe it's an issue of insecurity or it's an issue of maybe the customs and then the immigrations people not really doing their job. But the police has intercepted 500 cartons of tramadol in an intelligence-led operation at Widana. There's one Burkinabe that has been arrested. Police personnel from the Ghana Police Intelligence Directorate, which is the PID, and the operational team code named the Black Cobra, have seized about 500 cartons of assorted brands of tramadol in the operation in the Upper East region in Widana, that's the Boku West district. The operation, conducted on Tuesday, August 18th, followed a month-long intelligence gathering exercise into the activities of suspected drug dealers in the area. According to the Upper East Regional Police Command, the team recovered the suspected illicit drugs from a privately operated warehouse and some individual residences during the operations. One suspect, identified as Abdul Ali, who is a 21-year-old Burkinabe, was arrested and is assisting police with investigations. And then when you look at it, police preliminary intelligence indicates that the suspected network involved in the importation and of drugs comprises, I should say, of foreign nationals from Mali, Togo, Burkina Faso, and Senegal. And they find ways to import these drugs into the country. 500 cartons, the police says. The police says the network allegedly uses Widana as a transit and distribution point for suspected illicit drugs. The police have since launched an investigation to identify and apprehend other suspects or other persons believed to be connected in the operations. And sometimes it's very, very interesting to know 500 cartons of different brands and different types of tramadol, and these ends up in the ghettos, on the streets, and then people end up abusing them. And we see the issues that it causes to people. Now we are hearing of young people having kidney issues. We are hearing of young people having liver issues and all of that. It's because most of these people, I'm not saying all of them, but there's a rise in drug abuse in the country, and it's people also use some not branded, how do you call it, performance enhancing drugs and sexual performance enhancing drugs and all of that. And these things are a menace to society, and they're a menace to our health as well, Peter.
Right. Yeah, so I think that with the 500, I think it's more than that. From the video we are seeing currently, I think more than 500 boxes. And then, as you see, I cannot even count the number of times we've had this discussion about illegal drugs and tramadol and whatever in this country. And I see this is not simply a drug seizure story. It is a public health, security, and economic story. So you see, in 2026, NACOC disclosed that more than 6,000 applicants for Ghana's security services tested positive for illicit drugs.
More than 6,000?
More than 6,000, representing 7% of those screened, which is very alarming. And tramadol was among of the substances detected. And more importantly, NACOC said it had seized 45.4 million tramadol tablets between 2025 and 2026.
That's interesting.
I mean,
45.4 million tramadol tablets.
Exactly. Between 2025 and 2026. We are just in the first half of 2026. And so, I mean, this is very serious. Every day we sit down, we talk about it, we blame the youth abusing it, without talking about where these drugs, these drugs, actually, I don't know how to put it. But then this morning, I don't want to.
Oh, Peter, go on. I mean,
yeah,
this is a menace to society. So just feel free and then talk about how we can curb this issue. Because I want you to also include in your submission that whenever these things are purported or when people are caught, it is usually foreign nationals that are actually doing this particular thing. And you look at the insurgence of crime, in the insurgence of drug-related abuse and issues, and you look at some of these things, and then we've seen that the police said the people that are doing this, according to the suspects and the information that they are gathering, is that they are people from Mali, Senegal, Burkina Faso, and these are people that use the Widana, that's the Boku West district, that's in the Upper East region, as a route for illicit drug, that is transport.
So, I mean, every now and then we celebrate. Yes, the police has actually been able to intercept 500 boxes. It's good news. But then we have to look for those who import it, who finances the importation, who clears them, who transports them. I mean, we need to get to the root cause of all this. And then we need to trace the money. I mean, the innocent, young boy or young girl is sitting somewhere, and then these drugs come in. I've been saying it, they don't have what it takes to actually import these drugs. And so there are some campaigns somewhere. And then you see, we have the customs division, we have NACOC, we have so many institutions who are supposed to ensure that we don't have these illicit drugs, illegal drugs in this country. But every now and then, we have these drugs, actually finding a way into the country. And at the end of the day, it is the young, the youth, the future of the country. They are rather abusing these drugs. And I think that we should just move away from the conversation of educating the young people from, to stop abusing these drugs, to tackle the root cause of this problem. Who are the campaigns behind this? Who imports these drugs? Where do these drugs, travel to? What are the division, the immigration, the customs, what are they doing? Because before now, all that we heard is that Ghana was just a transit point. They just transit here to different countries. But now Ghana is becoming the destination.
It's becoming a hub.
Yes. With the data that we have, it is very alarming. And so, you see, you wouldn't blame that young boy or young girl who is abusing this drug because a friend told him or her that, once you are tired, when you get this drug, when you take it once, you feel okay, you want to do, you take it once. Before you realize the person is addicted to these drugs. And then we talk about education. You educate the people and you still have those drugs there. It means that the education is meaningless. Because you educate me and you tell me not to, abuse drugs. And every now and then, those drugs you are telling me not to abuse are available. Then what is the education for? So I think that we should, do away with the education for now and tackle the roots where these drugs are coming from. We should follow the money. And then so after the interception is very imperative, the arrest is very imperative, but they should conduct an investigation into this. Who actually financed the importation? Who owns the warehouse? I mean, they should just follow the money, and so that we can deal with it. Because every now and then we've come to realize that the enforcement is very key. When it comes to enforcement, they are doing very well. But then tackling the root cause of it has become the problem. We enforce the laws, and then we intercept these drugs. Whatever thing we do, we ban or we do away with it. But the next morning or the next week, we just have so many drugs back into the country. And so the enforcement is really not the problem we are facing currently. But those who are behind this, the kingpins, we should just follow the money so that, because it's very alarming. The future of Ghana, the youths, and most of them are into these drugs. When you go on social media, you see how young people are abusing these drugs. And people are just looking for a whole lot in life that they think that when they abuse these drugs, they'll be able to actually, make it. And so it is high time we stop blaming the youth and also, ask government to act. Our institutions should start working. And then they have proven that when they come together, when the institution, NACOG, Police 7, FDA, when they come together, they're able to work. Because FDA reported that they were able to actually intercept some, tramadol drugs in the laboratory, somewhere last 2 months or so. So when they come together, they're able to, do something meaningful. So I'm urging, these institutions to come together and, work hard, because the rate at which the youth are abusing these tramadols is very, very, alarming. And so once we don't have it in the country, you will not find anyone, doing it. And then sometimes we talk about the rehab and all that. It's very difficult. Once one become addicted to it, it's very, very difficult to, refrain from it. And so in order to prevent that process, spending money for rehab and all that, we should cut it. We should prevent the, these tramadol and other, drugs from coming into the country. And so, Nana, I think that's what I'll say about it, because we've had a whole lot of conversation about it and we are not seeing any improvement. And so it's just that as a youth, you have to think about your future first, your life, and ensure that you don't find yourself, wanting when it comes to these drugs and all that. And many people were disappointed when they were rejected during the, security screening and all that, just because you have these, chemicals, drugs in you. And so, in as much as we are telling government to ensure that we don't find them, you have to think about yourself first, your future, what you want to become and all that. And know that, abusing these drugs will not do you any good, but rather harm.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your comments about these, the problem of illicit drugs finding their ways right from the outside, the shores of this country, right into the busy streets of Accra, the busy streets of Idum, Kumasi, and what we have. We've seen that nearly 500 cartons have been intercepted thanks to the Black Cobra operational unit in collaboration with the Police Investigations Directorate, and they have brought this particular one out. And it makes you think that what else is there? 500 cartons being intercepted in the warehouse after a month-led investigation or intelligence or led operations. And let us know what you think about it. You can text us via WhatsApp 0500500421. You can send us a message on WhatsApp. We'll be kind enough to read them for you. A kind reminder that we are also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you go on there, you search for the Clock TV, you'll be able to watch us. In case you need to leave your TV set, you don't need to leave the Koko Digest morning show. We told you earlier, I should say, that we'll be talking about road safety issues and the Ofanko and the Ofanko-Pukwasi Road, that particular stretch around the Jonte area and what you have there. We've seen that there's been major improvements on the roads when it comes to the construction, but that major improvement is actually coming as a detriment from motorists not using the right and prescribed lanes, from people parking at places that they are not supposed to park at, from pedestrians not using walkways and then crossing the roads and climbing banisters to make sure that they get to the other side of the road in a lazy attempt, I should say, to get to the other side of the road instead of using the overheads that have been made for them. These are issues of national concern. These are issues of road safety, and it becomes maybe something that we take lightly until what happened last year, the unfortunate incident where over 10 people lost their lives. And then also we thought that maybe since that particular thing happened, we'll be addressing that particular issue right on time. But we've seen once again that the same issue has happened. Someone has also lost their life. And we are saying that what is the National Road Safety doing? What are road safety campaigns doing? Initially, we used to see on our TV screens, if you want to cross a road, you look left, you look right, you look left again. You have to use pedestrian lanes. But this time around, we don't see them as often. We have social media channels and all of that. But we don't necessarily seem to see the activism when it comes to road safety campaigns and all of that. Is it a budgetary constraint? We have to understand what is actually going on. And that same question is what is on your mind. Then send us a message, because very soon we're talking to Mr. Felix Owusu, who is one of the managers at the Greater Accra region. He's the senior planning manager, I should say, of the National Road Safety Authority, Greater Accra region. We'll be having him on phone to actually discuss these things. So if you have some questions for us to ask him, then please make sure that you do send us a message so we ask him. One seriously injured in another multi-vehicle crash on the Pokwase Road.
Nana, this is, you see, I've been saying this. We react to issues. We wait for, incidents like this to happen. You see, when the first, crash happened, when the assembly member there was interviewed, he stated boldly that at least every month they experience, road accident, the people die there every month. And this is a newly constructed road.
Yeah.
You see, when we have multiple accidents happening, it doesn't become accident anymore. It becomes something very important that needs to be investigated. Now, especially people talk about the John Terre area. And then during the accident, the interviews that we saw, they were talking about, drivers over speeding and a whole lot.
I put a pin in that because we have Mr. Felix on the line. I'm sure he'll be there to respond to a lot of your questions on road safety and especially on the Ofankopo-Kwase stretch. Hello, Mr. Felix. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Good morning. Very good to have you on the show once again. Thank you for always being at our beck and call whenever we call you to actually tell us more about road safety issues. But Mr. Felix, can you just describe the issues or the road safety concerns on the Ofankopo-Kwase Road? What is the Road Safety Authority doing about them? First of all, can you give us a description of what has happened, and we can now zoom into what the road safety is doing about it?
All right. So again, let me say good morning to you, and I think your guests, and then all other Ghanaians or cherished viewers out there. And also a very good morning to my own regional director, Mr. Joshua Quest. I think the issue we're discussing, in fact, this is not the first time we are discussing this issue. And like you said, there are so many. I think when an accident occurs, or as you call it, a crash occurs, there may be so many factors leading to that particular crash. So when we reference what happened last week, I think exactly a week ago at the Ofanko John Terre that stretch. Yes, so there were so many with reference to that particular accident. There are so many factors that led to that particular crash. But as you said, personally, what I have seen, some of the issues I have identified on that stretch, and even reports and complaints that we have received, you realize that once you, first of all, there are no streets. Most of the streets like they are not working. That is one. So at night or at dusk, the visibility is poor. That is one of the issues. And also because the road is flat and with a few potholes, motorists tend to speed. That is another. And then you also have drivers turning some of the spots into, I don't know whether a bus stop, illegal bus stops, and also passengers, going there to board and on board, vehicles at various sections of the road, which are all illegal. And so when you drive along that street, you see a lot of the barricades either mangled, smashed, and they also have a lot of broken down and abandoned vehicles on that stretch. So another problem I think we have identified, and with this one, and it was a complaint a transporter also made, and I have also experienced that, or I know, or I have also observed that once you hit that road from Newplan, Achimota Newplan, and you use the inner road, there is no entry, there is no exit. And so if you have to make any turn, it means you have to go all the way to Kwase or beyond before you can even make a turn or exit. And so this has, I think, necessitated some drivers to, but the fact that there are no exits made or there are no stops there means as a driver or as a motorist, you cannot stop either to alight or pick on the passenger. And so I think these are some of the things we have identified, and we intend to engage the road agencies to really understand why maybe there's a reason for that particular design and that engineering and design you see out there. So, but it's something we need to engage the authorities, the road agencies, to see how best we can use engineering means to solve some of the problems we have identified. But like I keep saying, as road users, sometimes I say it is very for us. Even though we say that the roads may contribute to some of the crashes we see on our roads, but sometimes as qualified drivers or riders, or even as road users, I always say let's all use the road defensively. Okay. And so coming back to what happened at the last week's crash, in fact, the whole thing started from this or a tricycle which weather broke down, and a vehicle knocked the rider, who died and was lying on the road. So at that moment, because the visibility was poor, other oncoming vehicles, and then we also heard a report that there was an officer who tried to stop other oncoming vehicles. And because one of the things we also fail to do is whenever there's a crash, or whenever there is a crash, one of the things we fail to do is securing the scene. In fact, when there's a crash, that's the first thing we do before you even call the emergency service providers, i.e. the ambulance, fire service, and the ambulance and the police coming. Securing the scene means that you want to make the place visible so that you prevent other oncoming vehicles or other subsequent crashes. So because we fail to do that, securing the scene could simply mean placing advanced warning triangles, your cones, to cordon off the area, using some reflective so that others coming will know from behind that, oh, ahead of you there is a danger, and so what I need to do is to slow down. And because most of us to also drive beyond the posted speed limit on our road, and looking at the kinds of vehicles involved in the crash. Now, again, per the report, the vehicle that crashed into most of the vehicles causing that damage, and then with a lot of people dying in that crash. This was a tipper truck carrying sand, loaded with sand, and then also looking at the impact, you can tell that this vehicle was actually speeding. Okay, so that is what we are talking about. So all these factors, there are so many different factors that led to what we saw. And not only that, even yesterday we were told that there were other multiple crashes on that same N6 stretch. That's this time around on Atmosphere to Koko bound, or Fanko Koko bound of the road, where the reports I received from the police, there was a truck that failed, reportedly failed brake, and then hit the vehicles in front, and that led to the multiple, one bumper to bumper or rear end crash. So I think we as road users sometimes fail to observe certain basic safety precautions, and that leads to the several number of crashes we see on our road. And I always say that most of this could be prevented. Most of these crashes we see on our road, I think that we can prevent. Okay, so that is what I can say. But as an authority or as an institution, I think, let me just also be firm that I think over the years, our interagency collaboration has not been the best.
Yeah.
And so we also need, as agencies in the road safety space, we also need to up our game and increase our interagency collaboration. So sometimes when some of these things happen, we all come together and find a sustainable solution to deal with some of these things we are having. Because it's not waking up every day to talk about people who have died, people who have suffered severe injuries because of somebody's recklessness, and also on the part of we the institutions who have also failed to do or deliver on our mandate. And even though sometimes it may not be deliberate, but I think there's more we can do. There's more we can do to improve safety on our road.
All right, thank you very much, sir. What we've also seen, you've just mentioned almost everything that I had in mind to ask you, but looking at the main issue on hand, you mentioned some of the issues like the traffic lights not being in place. That place is usually dark and it's not visible. And you also talked about securing the scene or the area whenever there is an accident. What I'm driving at is that what is the role of the Road Safety Authority in this? Because initially, and I'm saying this because initially we used to see adverts, we used to see campaigns of before you cross a road, look left, look right. We were in primary schools, we were handed pamphlets, we were handed booklets on how to look at the traffic lights, on where to cross, and all of these things. And that was a long time back. But now the case is not the same. And what is the road safety doing about it? Because that's the question on almost all of us our heads and our minds. Before the roads are actually commissioned, does the road safety now come in? Before the roads are actually deemed fit to use, does the Road Safety Commission have a role, I should say, in this particular thing? That's okay. Before the road is commissioned, we have to come and run an inspection, give you a certificate to open the road, because we've seen that a lot of roads, the markings on the floors are either cleaned or no longer visible. And it's something that begs the question that what is the Road Safety Authority doing? So I want you to briefly describe your role in terms of campaigns, in terms of before the roads are actually commissioned or deemed fit to use, so that we'll understand what the main issue and where the questions that are in our heads should be directed to.
Yeah, so even though the line wasn't that clear, but I think I could hear you asking about the role of the National Road Authority even before the roads are commissioned, input and all that.
Yes, that's a good starting point. That's a good starting point to answer.
Public. Yeah, so to begin with, the National Road Safety Authority, we continue to do the road safety, as for road safety education. We continue to engage the people, but I must also admit, we all have challenges, and so that is why sometimes you also even rely on you, the media, because you also you are one of our mouthpieces. But I always say that everything we do, if the media do not report to the general public, they stay with us and nobody gets to hear about them. So we also appreciate the work that the media is doing when it comes to dissemination of general public. So, the road safety, we continue to go to schools, churches, and places. But like I said, we also have challenges, and so we can't count on you greatly to assist us when it comes to education. And that is why at any point in time, many times you call us, we are always available to assist in any form that we can. Now, on the issue of the road, the National Road Safety Authority giving certificates to before the roads are commissioned to, and also given to the public to use. But that was an area we were trying to push. But let me also add, formally, I'll say things were not done right. But now, in recent times, whenever there are any road, the current road projects, not all, but some of them at least, we are engaged. So even during the implementation or during the construction phase, we go on with we have this periodic visits that we go with the road agents and other stakeholders. And so when we see any defect, anything, we prompt the attention of the clients, and in this case, whether it's roads or highways, so that they also alert the contractors who are working to fix those gaps that we have identified before even the facility is commissioned. So even recently, on Tuesday and Wednesday, we were, I think Monday and Tuesday rather, we joined Urban Road in commissioning two footbridges, one on the Kanda Highway, just close to the National Mosque, and then one also in front of Protect Lagos. Okay, and so these are some of the things we collaborate with other agencies in the road safety space to do. And then you had all the stakeholders there. But like I said, it is not all the roads. Because as I even said here, or even at the National Road Safety Authority, we do not even have inventory of all ongoing projects, which shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We are supposed to, that's why I mentioned earlier, if you listen to me, that the interagency collaboration or sectorial collaboration has not been the best. And so that is what we are all pushing for. But if I tell you that even as of now, sometimes accidents or crises occur, and you know how we get to hear about them when it is also even reported in the news.
Wow.
And so we cannot sit in the country and then pretend as if everything is working perfectly. So this is what I'm saying, that we need to enhance our interagency collaboration so that together and with that synergy we can all help, because no one agency can do it all alone. No. And as we always say, it's a shared and collective responsibility. So we need everybody on board. So while the institutions are doing their bit, then we the various road user class, not only drivers, not only motor riders, everybody on the road is supposed to play their role to make sure our roads are safe for all of us.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix Owusu. This is where time permits us to actually draw the curtains on this particular discussion, but we are looking forward to actually discussing with you on more pertinent issues concerning road safety. So I'm sure our producers will contact you soon so that we can have ample time to discuss all of these issues. Unfortunately, this is where time permits us to. So thank you very much, Mr. Felix Owusu. So that's where we have it. Peter, just concluding, Mr. Felix Owusu, who is the Senior Planning Manager for the Road Safety Authority, National Road Safety Authority, has come out, and his rallying cry or his closing statement is the fact that we need more interagency collaboration to actually curb these road safety issues. So I'll just give you some few seconds to actually wrap in on that before we conclude.
I think that this is not going to be an easy job, and so that interagency collaboration is something very important that we are looking forward to. And I wanted to even bring his attention to something that is happening at Kwashiman, the main intersection. The traffic lights there are not working, and it has been like that for almost 5 months now, which is very serious, and we shouldn't wait for another tragedy to happen before we react to the situation. And so I think we have to have him again on the show so that we can ask all the questions that we have. And so I think that we should also be responsible. Those of us using the road, we should also be responsible and then ensure that we prevent some of these things, because some of these accidents sometimes are the fault of some of the motorists. And so we should also play our part and expect that government also play his or her part. So Nana.
Yes, and we can only play our part if we are well educated on the issues. Unfortunately, this is where we draw the curtains down on the online newspaper review segments, where we discuss pertinent issues that are going and doing the rounds online in our news. And then up next is the lifestyle segment with Priscilla Dai, who is going to be interviewing or talking to with Denchi. And with Denchi, they are going to talk about the journey behind the spotlight. Don't go anywhere. This is the Koko Digest Morning Show.
On Koko Digest Morning Show, I am Frisla Ifia Bwachua Adai. As you can see me enjoying the song behind it. We have today, the topic we are going to talk about is the journey behind the spotlight. The journey behind the spotlight. And today we have here with us, our guest for today is Bernard Denchi Dako. His stage name is Wavy Denchi. He is a Ghanaian rapper, a songwriter, a creative entrepreneur from Accra, and a founder of Wave Farm. Now, it's a creative movement built on a music, self-expression, and a powerful belief that young people can create their own opportunity. Welcome, Wavy Denchi.
Thank you.
Wavy Denchi. Did I get it name right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
The
you're
stage
part of
name.
the few people that get it right.
Yay! I'm blushing.
Yeah.
You're looking so good.
Thank you.
It's like today you are kind of twinning with our outfits and things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See that thing?
I fly.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
How was your night and how is the family?
Yeah, so I just came from a light out and, we just
it's
had to cope
affected
with
everyone.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we are beginning. Wavy Denchi. Like the stage name alone is mind blowing. When did you realize music wasn't just a hobby, but something you truly wanted to build a life around?
Okay, so I think back in high school, so I actually wanted to play football.
Okay.
Because I'm good.
I can see that, a little vibe in that.
So back in high school, I had this friend called Briggs Beats.
Okay.
Yeah, who used to play the keyboard and he can use just the keyboard to make beats. Okay. And I was so fascinated. I was like, wow, just the keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah, so one time I just got closer to him and I spoke to him.
Yes, I wanted to even ask you that question.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
That inspiration, how did it happen? Using the keyboard in your early age, you had started music using a school keyboard,
Yeah, so
yes.
I saw him playing one time in the evening, so I go closer to him and I was like, yo, I can actually rap, so let's do something. He was like, okay, cool. So he just played something and I flowed on it. And everybody was wild. To me, it wasn't really...
At what age did you start?
I think it was around 16, 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I've started my own, freestyles back in GSS and stuff.
Okay. So what was your first song, when you started? But using a keyboard, how was it?
So that's... You can't make a song with that.
Okay.
But you can freestyle with it. Do you understand? But my first song is called German Boga. I think I made that in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us a bit?
It's my first song. But
what was the speech? German Boga. Why? Were you that time? Were you a Boga in German?
Nah, we're just kidding. Back in high school.
Okay.
So we made a song about someone who is from Ghana who has made it from a foreign country.
Okay.
And he's back.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just a party song that we made together just for fun. Nothing really.
Yeah. German Boga. That's nice. That's nice. So I wanted to ask, mostly in our community or in our family, when growing up and you know that you have that passion for music,
yeah.
Family and friends, kind of a way, we have people that will discourage you. You'll be like, why is that you not go to the university or you not upgrade yourself to be a doctor, a lawyer, that kind of thing. How was the conversation?
So I know, but sometimes I've grown to understand that sometimes when people advise you to do something else apart from music or do something else aside music, it's not like they are trying to discourage you, but sometimes they advise you out of fear for you that you might not make it or something.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've realized that sometimes I don't really take it to heart. Yeah, so I've tried to do my best and make
Okay.
sure that what I'm doing, I'll make sure I push it to the next stage. Do you understand? Yeah.
The song we just played, I want you to do a bit spotlight about it.
Okay,
Like,
so Sanseni is
hey,
about
Sanseni. In English is what?
let's say an outcast, wayward person.
So what was the inspiration behind that?
you know, in our local space,
Yes.
when you have dreadlocks or like you dress in a certain way,
Yes,
people have this stereotype.
Yes.
So the song was basically to talk about the stereotype behind dreadlocks.
Okay.
That people that have dreadlocks are. It's not like everybody is a bad person.
Yeah, but
you know, yeah.
The kind of community we are in, that is how we see that. They are.
Yeah. So if you watch closely, I was going somewhere, and they mistook me for a thief.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because of my hair.
So which community is this?
So we shot it in Cape Coast.
Wow. Is that where you come from?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
Cape Coast burger. Okay. So how was the struggle? Like, how were you able to put everything together to get the song singing?
So it was produced by my friend. Shouts to Sector Made It.
Okay.
Shouts to Sector Made It in Killside Studios.
Okay.
And I think we recorded it in 2024, thereabouts. Yeah. And it was shot by Israel of True Crafts.
Okay.
One crazy director from Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so that was the team. But like for now, I'm doing everything on my own. So it was really hard, but like we tried our possible best to do everything.
Because we know that when you are trying to come up with a music, it's not an easy thing. For you to even get a studio, get people, the sound, like get everything to have that, you know. How? Is it that the words came before the actual thing itself, or like how did it happen?
Okay,
Is
so you're
it,
talking about the process.
yes, the process
So,
behind it.
It depends.
Okay.
Because like we don't really have one formula. Sometimes I go with the vibe.
Okay.
Sometimes he will just play something
Okay.
and I'll just catch a vibe with it. Do you understand? Yeah. So I think that day he played the trumpets for that song. And it was just going over, it was looping, and I was just shaking my head. I was just shaking my head, and I was just shaking my head. Earlier that morning, I went to the market to get some stuff. I've not said this before, but like, I went to the market to get some stuff.
All right.
And like a certain woman saw me and she was like,
Oh.
yeah. So I was like, oh.
Why?
Yeah.
Was it
so-
because of the logs or
yeah,
something?
I think so.
Oh.
I think so. But I don't think I look that scared.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
You're
but
really
actually,
handsome.
you know,
You're really handsome.
you know, women, So from that day, I just made that song, and you know, it resonates with a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah, they like it. So
Okay. That's nice. Was there anyone who told you it couldn't work?
I haven't heard that. We might fight. So we might.
You didn't really hear anything about it.
Nah, I've not heard that yet.
You sure?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. So people see the song and the streams, but they don't see the daily guide. What was the hardest part of the journey before things started working?
Yeah. So as you were saying earlier, people don't really see
Yes.
the sleepless nights,
Yes,
the days we have to travel
Yes,
8 hours, 7
yes.
hours to go shoot videos and make content and all
All
that.
on your own.
Yeah, all they just see is a 3 minutes
Yes.
video. Then they decide if they like it or
Yes.
not. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what that's what that means.
Yes. Okay. Have there been any moments you almost gave up when trying to come up with, like, what pulled you through? Where does the resilience come from? The song. Like,
So I'm human. Sometimes you feel
Yes.
like that. You feel like, why is this happening to me and all that. But like, I don't believe in therapy.
yes.
Just you have to be hard. Like you know, you have to go with tough skin from where we come from.
Yes.
Like it's going to be hard.
Yes.
So I have that in my head, and anytime I do anything, I just pray to God that He helps me do it. because like I have no help. It's just like you can't do it with your strength.
Yes.
You need God in
yes,
whatever you
yes,
are doing, you know. So yeah, that's how we keep it going.
Okay, that's nice. That is wonderful. You're really trying. You're doing so well.
Yeah, you're doing well too.
Okay. So tell us, where from that inspo? What brought all this way from thing?
Yeah, so We Farm is a movement I started, and it's a movement that brings hope for the youth. I feel like from where I'm from, I didn't have anyone to give me a handout that, oh, okay, so do this, do that.
Yes.
And when you do this, you're going to make it.
Yeah.
I learned it for myself, and I had a few people to like help me and stuff. So like I've put it on myself to start a movement to help people, other talents that come from where I come from, and don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So it's just a movement.
For how long has it been there?
Oh, so since I started, yeah, and
Since you started the music career?
yeah, and we've been like trying
And
for
that's from
ourselves.
2018?
No, I didn't professionally. I didn't start professionally. I
20.
started professionally in 2023.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it because of the Wave Farm? That's why you had the stage name Wavy Denchi?
So Wavy is the name. Wavy Denchi is my
What's the
name.
meaning of the wave?
So Wavy is it represents my sound and it
Okay.
represents my personality.
Okay.
Because like you can't break a wave. Do you
Yes.
understand?
Yes. Just move.
And a wave
yeah.
is versatile.
Okay.
I'm really versatile too.
Yes.
And Denchi is my real name. I didn't really want to, I don't really like nicknames, so I try to attach that, my personality and my real name, to make it make sense. And Wave Farm was just derived from Wavy Denchi. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I had this 2021. You had a song. This song. This morning I was going through my Instagram and I saw one of your songs. They said it was Scarface.
Scarface is a freestyle.
It's a freestyle.
Oh, it wasn't 2021. It was recent. It's a freestyle.
Okay. Can you throw more light about it? The Scarface, like.
So Scarface is like, it's a movie. I got an inspiration from the movie,
Okay.
the movie Scarface, and in the movie he has this saying that the world is yours. Do you understand? So that's
Okay.
what inspired me to make that freestyle.
Okay.
But it was a build up for my next single. So
He said you can. I heard they said you can also rap in English, in Chi, in Ga. Like, that is so unique about you.
yeah.
Is that a choice that you made, or you just know how you naturally express yourself? Like,
I even know, but like, you know, I think it comes from the influence of where I've lived. I went to school in Cape Coast, so I can speak Fanti. I lived in Accra. I can speak Ghana. I can speak Chi. You know, so like when I'm making music, I try to make it very authentic, so that I keep my Ghanaian tongue in it.
okay,
Do you understand?
okay.
Yeah.
So is it that when you're rapping, if it's English, or like should the rapping mix?
So yeah, so I mix it. It's fun.
Because I want you to teach me, because I want to start rapping. You see that thing, like
I think
I want you
should
to
start
feature me
listening.
so that
Yeah.
we'll do it together.
So it's fun when you're listening to music. It's not everybody that understands English, and it's not everybody that understands Chi.
Yes.
It's not everybody that understands Ghana.
Okay.
Same as every language.
Okay.
So I try as much as possible to like fuse it and like give everybody the chance to enjoy the music.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah.
So like, I want to know, the rap, is it you? I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Like, I
Because when
want
you
you,
ask me, I'll ask you about presenting. So
can you give us a freestyle right now? Like, small rap in English. Like, I'll give you the beat.
Yeah. Small time when my stars align, the style they came in enough, yeah. Surround the boys like Dobie, no bulletproof. I came in like Scarface, yeah. Yeah, our boys won't see us, tell her look up, wavy us. Pull up on you and I get us things sparking. Yeah, let's go. New song out.
That's so
Put me on, let's go.
You've done really so good. The chi. You give us the English for the chi.
So the chi.
Yes.
Okay. You see me in Sanseni, you share me in twice. Missy Wabi Susi, Unya Kaya Chimmy, and me mama pie, where they put me on a rise. Me pay me sick, I know they care about you. Be a say me a savage, and person in so fatami. Maybe I make a beer, and we see in so sami. Me kwame dodgwa, on no see with jammy. I be bad boy, but I be diamond.
I'm really enjoying today's segment. That's so wonderful. That is amazing. Gone. So that our Ghana people will not be left out.
So you know what?
Yeah.
I'll just leave that one as a surprise for the next single. Because the next single, I was really speaking Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really speaking Ghana in that song. And yes, I had people that like told me that this song is this song you know for drop one because this one is too Ghana.
Yes.
But I feel like we are losing our mother tongue as Ghanaians. Because lately, when people are speaking, you can even hear they are stealing like Nigerian words.
Yes.
Like anytime you speak with someone, they be like
Omo, that thing is coming.
Sha. Because we are losing that authenticity.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes. Okay.
So I try as much as possible to like fuse in the local
Why do
languages.
you live in a Ghana community? Like so that's the reason why you're able to flow with the Ghana.
Because you're supposed to do it. People are supposed to relate and like, resonate with what you are doing and your story. But if there's difference, if you're speaking in a different language, music is also a language. But if you're speaking in a language they don't understand, then your music is not like relating with them. Do you understand?
Okay. A bird just whispered to me that you have a song, Dabeng.
Yeah.
Dabeng means when. Like it's mostly when we say Dabeng in our local language, it's like when someone has given up on something, say, hey, I did Dabeng na, I did Dabeng na we bebem. So what is the inspiration behind the Dabeng? Tell us a bit about it.
So like, as you said,
yes.
It means when. Dabeng means when.
Yes.
And it's for every hustler, everybody that is like waiting on God for a chance.
Okay. So is it a kind of worship song?
No. It's an Afro trap song.
Okay. When you said it's like you're kind of waiting on God, that's how I said. If it's a worship song.
So I make street music. But it's very inspirational.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I always say God because like my songs are
without
very inspirational.
Him, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about Afro
trap.
So you have Afro trap song, and what again?
So I make Afro trap, I make Afro beats, and I make hip hop.
Okay. So if my producer is here with me, please help us play the Dabeng so that you can enjoy a bit That way. Oh, very soon I'll start rapping. No,
Yeah.
don't worry.
I'll be like it.
Yes, it's really a nice song. That bang.
So it's not a regular bounce for like a hip hop song in Ghana.
Okay.
So this is really new.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a hip hop song.
Yeah, Afro trap. That's what we call Afro trap.
Like bits. Like that bang. I want you to show more spotlights about it for me too. So verse by verse, like explain a bit about it.
So it starts with make nobody pray for me. Make you press play.
Okay.
So like it's self-explanatory.
Okay.
Like instead of you to like be fasting and praying for me and all that, you could put that energy in like helping the job. Do you understand? So make nobody pray for me. Make you press play. How can I move correct? I know I'll die, but not today.
So were you referring to yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I know I'll die, but like not today. So like I just have to go and get it. Do you understand? How many mileage you get? You for the top.
How many what?
How many mileage
what
you
does
get?
It mean?
You for the top. Be counting your days. Do you understand?
I don't understand.
So like mileage is a car, like it's a thing about cars. Like how long it can go. Do you understand? So I was like, how many mileage you get? You at the top. Be counting your days.
Okay.
And born all right, but Baba God.
That bang. Oh, that's so
that
good. That bang. Okay. That bang. I heard they said you have a latest song. Put me.
Yeah. Puts me on.
So where from all this inspiration, the names? That bang.
Yeah.
Put
So
me on.
I'm just like documenting my life as an artist, a creative from Accra. And like all these titles, all these songs are real songs that like I'm preaching. So Put Me On, it's not a song about money, but Put Me On is for like everybody that has been asking for an opportunity and needs someone to give them a chance. Do you understand? So that's what Put Me On is about. So it's just me asking God to test me because I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. So like.
So after the dabbing and the Put Me On came.
Put Me On, yeah.
So what was there before the dabbing?
So I dropped an EP, a 6-track EP called Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Yeah, Jumbo means a mix of things. So it was a mix of styles.
Okay.
Yeah, Jumbo, 6 songs, and it really did well. Like people liked it on the streets. Yeah. So after that, I'm working on a new project called Box Kids, which is coming probably. I don't want to like give like a time frame because like we are still in works. So yeah, the Box Kids. That's what's coming up. That's the project coming up.
Okay. So can you sing a bit about? Is that Put Me On? Is it?
Yeah. So Put Me On is out. Put Me On is out. I think the video will be out probably next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you give us a small?
So I was like, "Wabi shekusha to akbo tali." Yeah. Me don't yummy. If I get a check, I go tell no one about it. Wanna test me? Yeah. Holla, broski. Yeah, go pesi KB, cause nobody go put me on. 50 reps. So I'm like every dawn, I just wake up when I'm brainstorming and everything. I just go and like just put in some reps and just exercise the body, the mind, and getting ready for like the next challenge. You know, that's what I meant by that side. Yeah.
Is there any coming show that you are planning to do, like concerts or something?
Yeah.
Then
So we
you
are
add
planning.
your final words and where you can stream all your songs.
Yeah, so there's a lot. Wavy Dinchi show coming up very soon.
Okay.
Box Kids EP coming out very soon. Put Me On new video coming out next week. So like there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Okay.
Just make sure you keep it locked on my social media handles. My name is Wavy Denchi, WAVYDENKYI. Please follow me and like let's get interactive, you know. Let's go.
All right. Thank you so much, Wave Daishi. Thank you for coming.
Go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So please go to all our social media handles, then go and check his song. It's really nice and inspiration. I am Priscilla. That is all we have for you on Lifestyle Segment on Koko Diger's Morning Show. I am Priscilla Ifia Bwachua Adai. Thank you.
Koko Digest Morning Show. And here we bring you nothing but the best in the world of sports. We are covering all the action, both local and international. Today is a wonderful day. Today is a great day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Before I go into my stories for the day, before I start with what is trending, let me just talk briefly about what happened the previous days. And ever since after Tuesday, we gave you the sports highlight. Yesterday, the La Liga started, and then we had Atletico Madrid playing against Malaga, with Atletico Madrid winning by 2-0. It started off by a goal scored by their very new signing, he's a Korean, an Asian, let me put it that way. I don't remember his nationality, but yes, he scored a goal. And then there was a goal scored by Alex Baena, which is also, being argued to be one of the best goals for the season so far, even though the season has not really begun yet. Yes, it has started, but then not enough matches has been played. But they're already calling that goal one of the best goals so far for the season. And then yesterday, FC Barcelona, my darling club, had an international friendly, Jejuan Gampa game, which is an international friendly they always play at the beginning of the season with a prominent team out there. It can be any team. So they played against El Ali, and yesterday Barcelona won by 2-1. It was quite an interesting game. I watched it myself, and then I'm quite impressed with how they played. Yes, there is so much to be done. The quality is still there, but the boys are young. So much needs to be done for the team. But yesterday was quite interesting. Those of us who watched the games that went on, Atletico Madrid's game and then Barcelona's game, we actually enjoyed a certain kind of football. This season, I'm trying to urge people on. Viewers should tune into La Liga and witness very quality football that will be played this season, because so much is going to happen this season, and then I don't think you want to miss that. Now let's move on to the EPL, which is set to begin, God willing, tomorrow, Friday. We have games coming from Arsenal side. We have Manchester United early kickoff on Saturday. We have Arsenal playing tomorrow. We have some interesting games that are coming up. The following week, the Bundesliga will begin. The French league will also begin, and then just like that, the football season is back. We are back into the football season. Now let's talk about my stories for today. And our first story for today is a local story which happens to do with our 2025-2026 league winner, that is Mediama SC. So the coach of Mediama SC, Coach Karim Tanko, has made a statement. Our objective is to win the CAF Champions League title. So if you know this, you know that the yellow and mauve team, that is Mediama SC, won the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League competition, and then due to that, you qualify for the CAF Champions League title that is being played every year. And this time, Coach Ibrahim Tanko is assuring Ghanaians, assuring the fans of Mediama SC, and assuring the viewers and football fans out there from Ghana, especially, that this time around the team is yearning. They are hoping to get to the top of the competition, that is getting to the part where they even have a chance to win the title. Their first game is against the Giants of DR Congo, that is TP Mazembe, which is actually going to be a tough game because we know the quality TP Mazembe present on the pitch of play, and then you know where they get to when it comes to the CAF Champions League game that it goes on. He says, and I quote, "We are going there as one of the teams to compete. And so winning the CAF Champions League is our objective." So that is a statement made by Coach Ibrahim Tanko, who also a former Black Stars assistant coach. So we know he comes with a lot of quality, he comes with a lot of experience, and he comes with a lot when it comes to, when we are talking about football on the pitch, out there, Africa, and the world as a whole. So we are hoping for the best for, Mediama SC. Their side, like I said, is playing TP Mazembe first, and then from there, we'll know how it goes on from there. Now, let's move on to our story for our next story, which happens to do with our very own, our former Black Stars captain, Andre Dede Ayew, who is calling for investment into the grassroots talent. if you know me, I mean, if you've been following me for some time now, you would attest to the fact that grassroots football is something that I've been trying to champion alongside my colleague James Benate. This is something that we've been trying to champion for some time now. And we feel like there is so much quality in the grassroots, in the younger generations, that needs to be tapped. Something that we can use to build our national team. When you look at greater teams like Morocco, the team like Morocco, we have Spain, the English national team, that's England, the Brazilian team, even some of the big teams out there, France, the big national teams out there, most of their quality comes from the younger side of the country. And then, grassroots football, where they improve, they invested so much attention, so much money, so much investment, they made so much investment into grassroots sports, grassroots talent. And that has made it possible for them to build, what they have now. So I think I side with Andre Dede Ayew, that is the former Black Stars captain, who is also making an appeal to football fans out there. Let us invest into grassroots sports. Let us put in so much effort to help the grassroots sports. He has made an initiative which will go a long way to provide opportunities to young, talented football players, or sports fans out there, sports fanatics out there, people who are interested in sports, to be able to build their abilities. And also, he's urging corporate institutions to also help develop these young talent and create a very welcoming program for all of them out there, so that we can use that to improve our sports in the country. Now, let me move on to our next story for the day, which is also an interesting one. It's a local story. We have the GTF boss who is unveiling the largest taekwondo project. I know this comes as a lot of surprise to some people, because this is not something that we see most Ghanaians interested in, but we have people who are very much committed, very much invested in taekwondo. So we have the GTF boss trying to get people into the sports of taekwondo. So his name is Mr. Frederick Latte Otu. He's the Ghana Taekwondo Federation boss. He's the president of Ghana Taekwondo Federation, and then he has unveiled plans to launch the largest ever taekwondo development project in the country. So he's trying to improve the passion of people who are interested in taekwondo, and also hoping to educate, bring the minds of Ghanaians out there to the sports or the field of taekwondo. He disclosed that he has led a very powerful GTF executive board delegation, and he's hoping to engage the Director General of National Sports Authority, that is Mr. Yao Ampofo Ankra, on the sidelines of the Federation's 2-day leadership retreat that's going to be held at Sakumono Plus 33 Hotel in Greater Accra. He's hoping that he's going to get people interested in the field of taekwondo. He's going to get more fans and more people to be able to get into the field and expand the horizon. Taekwondo is actually an interesting sport. I don't fancy it myself, but then I've watched, in this field of work that we are in, we watch varieties of sports, and then it's something I've witnessed a few times, and I think it's going to help develop a lot of talent, because there are a lot of people out there, you wouldn't believe it, but are interested in this field of sport. Hopefully, we'll be able to get more people into it. One of the ambitions of the GTF president is also to get international recognition. Taekwondo is not a local sport. It's actually an international sport which is practiced almost everywhere in the world. So he has revealed that he's hoping that he will get an international coaching license and then a national referee course, a major national tournament and a major international tournament to showcase Ghana's elite athletes and raise the profile of Ghana Taekwondo. So he's trying to create an avenue, a bigger commitment out there for people to be able to participate and get involved in taekwondo. Now our last story for the day, our last story for today happens to do with our local story, Diana FC, which is announcing the signing of winger Emmanuel Aban ahead of a new season. When you get into the new season as such, a lot of signings that goes on. In Europe, a lot of signing, just as I said on Tuesday when we had our sports segment, we saw the signing of Rodri into Barcelona. It was a battle between two giants of Spain, Barcelona and Real Madrid, and at last, Barcelona was able to sign Rodri. But then aside that, we saw other teams also signing players, making moves here and there, strategical moves to sign players, and then it happened for many others. And then in our local leagues as well, we've seen signings that are going on, and then all that. We now Mano Aban, who is a winger, has been signed into Ediana FC, and then we are hoping to see a very great sports showcase from him. He's 23 years old and he's an attacker, and he's joining the two-time Premier League winners on a long-term deal. He's expected to play a very huge role because as an attacker and being signed into a league, Ghana Premier League, we are hoping that he's going to make better performances than he used to do for Bechem United. So he scored 10 goals, he made 67 appearances with his time in Bechem United. He scored 10 goals, like I said, he provided 4 assists, and then it's been great out there watching him, hoping that he will do better with Aduana Football Club. Now that's it for the sports update segment. My name, as always, is Benedict Iketia Kwarting. Next is the business segment with my very own Insia
Hello there, good morning to you and welcome. This is the Business Update segment in the Koko Digest Morning Show. And as usual on this segment, we provide you with the latest in the world of business, expert analysis and market trends that will impact your business and investment decisions. I am your host, Peter Nsia. Now to our stories. Government has paid 10.82 billion Ghana cedis to bondholders under the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, with the Ministry of Finance confirming that the payment was made in full and on schedule. The latest payment brings the total amount paid to DDEP bondholders since 2025 to 41.36 billion Ghana cedis. There's more to this story.
The ministry says this is the third DDEP coupon payment made entirely in cash, describing the timely payment as a demonstration of fiscal discipline and the government's commitment to meeting its debt obligation. It's added that the payments are expected to boost investors' confidence, reduce Ghana's survey default risks, and strengthen the country's financial credibility. Government has assured bondholders and investors that all future DDEP obligations will be paid in full and on schedule.
Away from that story, the Petroleum Commission says its oversight of Ghana's upstream petroleum sector has generated about $2.2 billion in savings and potential gains for the state. The Commission CEO, M. Fahad Castle, disclosed this at the launch of activities marking its 15th anniversary. She said reviews of major field development plans accounted for about $2 billion in savings, including $1 billion from the Greater Jubilee Full Field Development Plan.
A recent petroleum cost audit also identified about $229 million in infractions, which have been removed from allowable petroleum costs, potentially increasing government's revenue. The Commission also says its local content efforts have resulted in indigenous Ghanaian companies securing about $4.9 billion in contracts since 2013, representing 22% of total contracts. It says the measures are aimed at ensuring greater local participation and value for Ghana's petroleum resources.
And on to our last story, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, says an external auditing firm is conducting a special audit of the domestic gold purchase program from its inception in 2021. The audit follows concerns over losses recorded by the Bank of Ghana under the program. Mr. Gyamfi said an IMF report indicated that the domestic gold purchase program generated losses of 22 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 1.5% of GDP in 2025. He also cited IMF figures showing that the Bank of Ghana recorded losses of about 400 million $400 million under the program. Mr. Gyamfi said the audit will assess the program's operations and financial performance since 2021, with the finding expected in the third quarter of 2026. He also rejected claims that the IMF attributed the losses incurred by the Bank of Ghana under the program to Gold Board.
Are we interested in past losses? As I've explained to you, I'm sure the domestic gold purchase program is being audited forensically by the Bank of Ghana itself from inception 2021 to date. Because under them, you didn't hear a lot about domestic gold purchase program. Who here remembers under the MPP in 2024, 2023, whether you heard any publications about losses under gold for reserves and gold for oil? It was all shrouded in opacity. And that is why when the governor went to the Bank of Ghana Public Accounts Committee and spoke about losses made under the program in 2024, the chairperson, Abna Sari, said, Governor, give me evidence. She was challenging the governor that it is not in BOG's audit report, so it is not true. Until the IMF stated in their latest report that 2024 loss was $400 million. You've seen that they've kept quiet. So the Bank of Ghana, therefore, is auditing the program forensically from inception 2021 to date. And I'm sure that what was due to accounting translational effects will come out. And if anything was attributable to criminal conduct or negligence by anybody, it will come out in the audit. So let's wait for that. Are we interested in past losses? As I've explained to you, I'm sure the domestic good.
And that's all we have for you on the Business Update segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. I'm Peter Nsia. Up next is the main segment with Nana Yawasari. Please do stay with us.
just some few days ago, we got a communique that there's strict enforcement of the National Vehicle Homologation and Conformity Assessment Program from 1st October. That particular directive, I must confess, has brought about maybe mixed feelings and mixed reactions amongst the general populace in Ghana. And it's something that we are all aiming and seeking to find more understanding from, and this particular one has brought us to actually search deeper, and in searching deeper we found two people who are of vast knowledge and the right people who can actually bring us much information on these. I'm talking about Prentice Macmillan, who is the head of Vehicle Homologation Unit at the Ghana Standards Authority, and then Kofi Yeboah Deborah, who is also the acting head of public relations at the Ghana Standards Authority. And they are here with me in the studio here, and they will be delving deeper into the conversation on the topic: Ghana Standards Authority enforces 15-year used vehicle import restrictions to reshape the auto market. Is it feasible? Is it going to be, how is the implementation going to be like? These are the questions that are on the minds of a lot of Ghanaians, and that's why here on the Koko Digest Morning Show, we bring it to the fore for us to discuss. But I'll start by first introducing my guest in the studio. I have to my immediate left the acting head of PR at the Ghana Standards Authority. His name is Mr. Kofi Yeboah Deborah, and then to his left as well, I have Mr. Prentice Macmillan, head of Vehicle Homologation Unit, Ghana Standards Authority. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you and your listeners.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you in the studios here.
Thank you for having us.
I'm sure it will not be a one-day wonder, a 9-day wonder, I should say. We'll be seeing you often as well.
We'll be happy to. We'll be very happy to.
Yes. So let me first of all understand your roles. What roles do you play? I know I've just mentioned them, but someone will be saying, hey, homologation, that's even a big word. I'm sure PR, a lot of people will understand the public relations, but when it comes to homologation, what is the meaning of homologation? I'll start with you, Mr. Macmillan.
Okay, so maybe a simpler word close to it is certification.
Certification.
Yes. So this is the word used especially within the vehicle industry for the kind of certification being done for vehicles.
Okay.
The reason being that you have so many components being put together to work. You want to know if those components in their respective capacity can work, but even more importantly, if they can work together with other components so that the vehicle can work properly as a whole. So homologation is just to see that everything in that vehicle is working together properly. So that's why that word is used. It's used in other industries with similar features as well. So basically that's what it means. But I think that drives back to your first question.
Yes.
What do we do?
Yes.
So if you check what the mandate of the Ghana Standards Authority is from our Act of Parliament, there are three basic things that we are mandated to do. The first one is to ensure that there are standards in our country. Okay? So we develop those standards, we promote those standards, we establish them, we maintain them. All of it has to do with making sure that there are standards, because in this world, there are different level of standards.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I will be having something that I believe is a very good product, and maybe Asari, you see it and you say, what is this? By your standard, it is low.
Yeah.
But maybe for me, it is okay.
Yeah.
Because of such differences, companies also have different standards they use. Okay, regions of the world have different standards, but for a country, what should be the standard? That is the role of a national standards body. So we are supposed to ensure that some minimum requirements are there to cut across for everybody. Minimum, not
minimum,
not maximum. Minimum. So at least anybody who goes onto a market to purchase that product or to even get a service, at a minimum should have a certain standard. Above that, companies and individuals may choose to do better, but nobody should go below it. So the first one is the standards. The second is what we call conformity assessment. Now that you have a standard, then you can now have the confidence to say something is substandard or not. That means it is below the standard. For you to tell if it is below, you must check it. You must measure it against the standard. So conformity assessment. Assess whether it conforms to the standard. You might either test it, you might inspect it, you might certify it. All of them are part of conformity assessment. So homologation.
Yes,
is part of
the big word.
Yes.
So that is certification.
Exactly. It's part
Vehicle
of conformity
certification.
assessment.
Yeah.
So if there is a standard for a vehicle, you want to assess to see
Whether it
does the
conforms.
vehicle conform to that standard or not. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, let's take it out. So that's the conformity assessment bit that we are on. Then the third area is metrology, the science of measurement. And this comes in key when you are doing the conformity assessment. I am measuring to see if you conform to a standard. But what I'm using to measure, is it working correctly?
Yeah.
What if what I'm using to measure itself is faulty? So the science of measurement, we have to have accurate measuring equipment, traceable, so that we can compare that, oh, you measured this thing, and indeed your equipment is working correctly, your measurement criteria is correct. So the metrology is the second thing. So we ensure this for ourselves, but for the whole country as well. Any measuring device used in trade and in industry, it's our responsibility to ensure that these devices are also measuring correctly. So these three broad areas are the areas that we are responsible for.
I think you are loading our viewers with quite a lot. Because I'll just break it down for them. If I really understood what you said, then you just correct me if I didn't. So the first one is to set standards. And in setting standards, you talked about the minimum requirements that is set for a country's standards or maybe an industry standards. And that's what you do. The second one is conformity assessments. Now that you've set the standards, you are going to check to see whether maybe company A is conforming to the minimum requirements that we are set. You can choose to perform above these standards.
Yes.
I'm a good student.
You're a very good student. Very, very
So
good.
the third one is metrology, which is measurement. So that's just to say, if an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold here in Ghana, measuring by this, if you should go and pick an ounce of gold in maybe UK, it should measure the same as an ounce of gold.
Exactly.
So we get all of this.
Yes.
Then your work is plenty. Your work is plenty.
It is.
Mr. Debra, just tell us a little bit about maybe if you want to add to what he said as well.
Sure. So we basically want Ghanaians to know that every aspect of our work is carved out to protect consumers and for public health and safety. So these functions that my friend and brother, Mr. Prentice Macmillan, was speaking about, in developing standards, we have to take note that these are put together by stakeholders and not just staff members of Ghana Standards Authority who sit in a meeting room and come up with minimum requirements for any product or service. We have what we call technical committees, and we source them from industry, from academia, from regulatory bodies, etc. So everyone brings their expertise to bear depending on the subject matter. So if you take a product like a bottled water, you have the regulator, which is FDA, on the committee. You have customs on there, you have CSIR, you have some scientists from GSA, some researchers from some of our well-known universities in Ghana, and they sit down, put together their ideas, and at the end of the day, when every party is satisfied with what has been brought forth, then that document is what we now call a standard or a requirement. So we want Ghanaians to know that everything we are doing is to protect them. If you take metrology, as he rightly mentioned, we use weighing scales in trade. We purchase products and they are supposed to be weighed. You are exchanging something of value, which is your money, for another product of value. Now you need to be sure whether you are not being cheated, or you, on the other hand, not cheating people. We have been on the market a couple of times, and some of the things that we come across is actually quite sad sometimes, and we advise people to desist while making sure that we perform our statutory duty. If we have to penalize them, then we do that. We do all these things for the protection of consumers. If you take our fuel industries, we go around and do calibration of the dispensing machines.
Really?
Yes, we do that.
Ghana Standards does that as well.
Yes. So anytime you purchase fuel, maybe from now on, or if you didn't know, we have a green sticker on the dispensing machine.
Yeah.
And that tells you that it's passed because it's a green sticker. However, within that green sticker, there's an expiry date, which will tell you whether the machine is fit for purpose to use. So consumers need to pay attention to some of these things. If you go to the hospitals, the thermometer, they are using a lot of reading and measuring devices that they are using. They bring them to our offices. We do calibration for them to make sure that they function properly. Because as long as it's a reading or measuring device, because of the frequent use, the wear and tear will alter its function. So as it permits, you have to do a recalibration to make sure that everything you are getting is accurate. Because the downside of it is that, imagine going to a hospital and being diagnosed with high blood pressure, only for you to find out that maybe the devices being used to check was faulty. So you'll be given drugs to take when your body isn't needing those medicines, and that's drug abuse. So it comes in so many ways than one, just to help people. In case of if we want to talk about export of products, you need to weigh the products that you are exporting. If you are traveling, you are given a certain limit of kg of your luggage that you are supposed to bring on board. All this is metrology, because the plane can take a certain limit of weight. It has its limits. So yes.
That's quite interesting. I really thought Ghana Standards Authority were there for just I didn't know that your mandate requires you to do quite a lot. Myself, this is a learning experience for me. But you mentioned that everything you do also is in the interest of protecting consumers, and the way you've described it, it best fits. But sometimes some of the directives that come, it's very difficult to comply with, especially when you say that it is the minimum standard they are supposed to operate on. Case in point, I'm just driving us to the main point of directive for today. From October 1st, which is a few days to come, 15-year-old cars cannot be imported into the country again. And I'll just start this by reading this directive that was actually sent. So let me just read it out for the benefit of our viewers. This one says, public notice. Strict enforcement of the National Vehicle Homologation and Conformity Assessment Program from 1st October 2026. The Ghana Standards Authority, GSA, wishes to inform the general public, vehicle manufacturers, assemblers, importers, distributors, dealers, and all stakeholders that although the National Vehicle Homologation and Conformity Assessment Program has been in operation since 2020, the strict enforcement of the applicable national vehicle standards, including Ghana Standard 4510, GS 4510, requirements for the importation of used vehicles, will commence on 1st October 2026. The program is intended to ensure that all vehicles imported into, assembled, or manufactured in Ghana comply with the applicable national safety, quality, and environmental standards. It also seeks to protect consumers from unsafe, substandard, environmentally harmful vehicles while promoting a safer, cleaner, and more regulated automotive industry. Effective 1st October 2026, all new vehicle manufacturers and assemblers, as well as used vehicle importers, distributors, and dealers, are required to register with the Ghana Standards Authority and ensure that all new vehicle models are homologated, whilst all used vehicle units conform to the applicable standards before shipment to Ghana. Vehicles that do not meet the prescribed requirements will not be permitted for importation into the country on arrival. It is worth noting that this does not constitute a ban on importation of used vehicles. The Ghana Standards Authority encourages all stakeholders to familiarize themselves with the applicable requirements and take the necessary steps to ensure compliance before importing vehicles into Ghana. So this is a very, very detailed communique that has come out. And a lot of people should actually welcome this as something that is on consumer protection, as he said. But you and I are online, and we see some of the mixed reactions that now 15-year-old vehicles will not be imported into the country, and there's a whole lot of noise about this whole issue. First of all, tell me whether there was any broader consultation that went on before this particular communique was arrived at. And I can see that it was in 2020, well established in 2020. What happened? Why was it delayed so much that now the enforcement is now coming to bear? So if you can do justice to that, Mr. Macmillan.
Right. Thank you very much. So I think I like that you were able to pick out of this short notice that you read that indeed a lot has happened in the past.
Yeah.
And that was what we wanted people to know. Because a lot of people may not know the background to it, and we needed them to appreciate how much work and effort has gone in by many Ghanaians. As my brother mentioned earlier, before we develop any national standard, we follow the same international rules used in standards development anywhere else in the world. If you hear International Organization for Standardization, the way they develop standards is the same way we do it in Ghana. We identify all the key stakeholders for that subject area. Who are the regulators? Who are the policy makers? Which government agencies are involved? Which consumers are involved? Which conformity assessment bodies, academia, research, regulators? Everybody comes to the table. And that is what we did starting in 2019 to develop standards for the auto industry. First, we did standards for new vehicles. People complain, people complain, oh, if I buy a new vehicle in Ghana, the quality is different from a new vehicle coming from outside. Because they ensure that those vehicles meet their standards. We were not doing it before. We had no national standards, and therefore people who were bringing in new vehicles into our country could bring in whatever they like. There were no requirements. And it was some of these same stakeholders who told us, look, we operate in other countries and we know how they handle it there. But Ghana, there was nothing. They supported the idea to come up with standards for new vehicles.
That means there was stakeholder involvement.
Every one of them. In fact, at the time, for the new vehicle, some of them even brought representatives from outside the country to come and join our committees here in developing the standards to choose what are critical components for Ghana. If you are bringing a new vehicle into Ghana, which components are critical that should be tested? We agreed as a country with all the stakeholders. Brakes should be tested, glass partitions should be tested, seat belts should be tested, seat anchorages should be tested, tires should be tested, lights should be tested. We agreed on all 12 or 13 different components as critical. Then we started enforcing in 2020. So now from 2020, if you are bringing a new vehicle, you have to make sure that all those components have been tested, they meet our standards before you bring it in. They've been complying. Then now came, what about used vehicles? Can anybody bring just any used vehicle into the country? We at the Ghana Standards Authority understood the dynamics, how it impacts on revenue to the country, how it impacts on other trades who are involved in vehicle repair, maintenance. So we didn't support any idea that ban all used vehicles. No. Can we at least prevent the worst forms of used vehicles from coming into the country? So again, we brought the stakeholders together in 2022. Used vehicle associations, dealers, all of them. And then we all agreed on a set of requirements for used vehicles. So you can still bring a used vehicle into the country, but the used vehicle you are bringing should meet certain requirements. It should not be flooded. It should not be burned by fire. The safety cage and chassis, or what people normally call the frame, should not have been damaged. Okay? In addition to these, other requirements were added. Right-hand drive vehicles should not come in. Vehicles over 10 years should not come in. These were requirements put into the standard. Okay? But it was done in consultation with them in the beginning.
And they agreed.
They agreed.
Yes.
But when we got to the implementation, then you see some people say, oh no, you see, to affect our business, to affect so well, we understood. And then we started further engagements to try to get people to understand. It's been a 4-year journey since 2022 to now, engaging with the used vehicle dealer associations until the understanding became clearer that a well-regulated industry is good for all of us. So we got that consensus until we came into this year. Now, when we decided to do the strict enforcement again, to say that, look, you've been regulating used new vehicle dealers. How about the used? Let's start and then do for everyone. We went back again to engage. So we engaged all the groups once again. And then we realized from the feedback we were getting that probably a softer start may be better for us as a country. This is what caused the revision and say, you know what, for the meantime, let's peg it at 15 years. It is unfortunate in our view that of all the characteristics, of all the parameters that are in the used vehicle standard, the media chose to pick only on the year.
So just because you mentioned that, I have the administrative implementation framework for the enforcement of national vehicles from 1st October 2026, and I want to bring it to the fore for our viewers to also understand. It says that the Ghana Standards Authority, GSA, wishes to inform the general public. You know, when you actually start by wishing to inform, you know that there's something else inside. That after extensive engagement with stakeholders, which we have admitted here, the following administrative implementation frameworks have been established for the commencement of enforcement of the Ghana standards for imported vehicles from 1st October 2026. Used vehicles that have the following characteristics shall be prohibited from importation into Ghana. These are vehicles: 1, submerged in water, flood or damaged. That is flood damage, that's submerged in water. The second one, burnt or damaged by fire, with chases or safety cage damage, which is broken, cracked, bent, or twisted. Assembled from spare parts, without speedometer readings in kilometer per hour, and or over 15 years old. So you've talked about all these criteria, and then the media has decided to hammer on the 15 years, and I'm sure these are some of the things that we need clarification on. For the avoidance of doubt, vehicles that were shipped before 1st October 2026, even if they arrive in Ghana after the implementation date, will not be affected by the new importation requirements. Okay, that is good news for them. Similarly, vehicles already in Ghana prior to the implementation date are exempt. With this, let me pause here and ask a question. So I've shipped a vehicle, or maybe if I'm shipping the vehicle on, let's say, 29th September, definitely it's going to arrive after 1st October. Is that going to also affect it?
No, it's not going to affect that. Even if you ship your vehicle on 30th September, as long as your documents will attest that your ship actually set sail before 1st October, you are fine. It's not going to affect you. And we are obviously aware that the ship will take some time and obviously get here way after 1st October. So no, that is not going to affect such vehicles.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's an understanding for our viewers. Also, you can send us a message via WhatsApp if you have questions to ask a gentleman in the studios here. You can send us a WhatsApp message or text via 0500500421. That's the number that you can reach us on, and we'll be kind enough to address all your concerns for you. So now we are looking at the categories. These are vehicles: 1, submerged in water or flood damaged; 2, bent or damaged by fire; 3, with chassis or safety cage damaged; 4, assembled from spare parts; 5, without speedometers, readings in kilometers per hour, or 15 years old. These are the vehicles that are in question, that are prohibited from entering the country from 1st October. Now,
yes. So I like to make this point quite clearer to people.
Please do.
So for some of these things, just as in my earlier submission, I mentioned that everything that we are doing is geared towards protecting our consumers. So we need to make sure that everything is done in the right way, manner, and form. So if, for instance, we made mention of metrology, which is the science of weights and measures. If you pay attention to our streets and our signages, you realize that the road markings and other things are in kilometers per hour, not in miles per hour. However, there are various vehicles that come with both miles per hour and kilometers per hour. So if it has both, it is fine. But for speedometers that are only reading miles per hour, those are not, because that will not correspond with what we have on our street markings. Also, we have to also make mention of the fact that the GS 4510 had the year limit to be 10 years. But after further engagement and taking feedback from the general public, because like we mentioned earlier, these were suggestions from stakeholders, and this is what was brought forth. So the 10-year was something that was agreed to be put in there by the stakeholders. But when we brought out this notice and we started doing our public engagements, we have taken their feedback into consideration, and we have taken it very well. It's very constructive criticism. Based on that, our management, led by Professor George Ejay, has made sure that they will accommodate some space in order to make sure that we are also paying heed to the cry. I will not call it the cry. It is the will and passion of Ghanaians to make sure that their voices are heard in whatever discussion that is going on. So most of the comments we heard were that it would have been good to extend it a bit further. So based on that, management has deemed it wise to extend the 10-year ban, which originally was in the GS 4510 standard, to 15 years. So that is clearly GSA having a listening ear to our public to make sure that we don't just, like you suggested earlier, just develop something and throw it out there. We take a lot of constructive criticism and suggestion to make our work better, because at the end of the day, it's for all of us. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Deborah. I suppose the elephant in the room I should talk about is that when you look at the economic status of most of the people in the country, I'm sure they have that in mind, that it is the dream of every young man after you start working. The next thing is to get a car that you can use to go in and out of the country, in and out of work and do your own rounds. But you don't have that financial well-being to buy or purchase a brand new car. Now you look at all these online places, and then you realize that, oh, I can actually purchase a car for about 50,000 cedis, an accident car. But this time around, they are saying that the chassis shouldn't have been cracked or broken.
Yes.
I can actually buy a flooded car and then come and work on it, fix it, and I can give it to a Bosokan guys, and then they'll do magic to it to be as brand new, and then I'll be able to use it. Now, was this issue also taken into consideration when addressing this? Because the economic status of Ghanaians is the average Ghanaian cannot afford a brand new car. That is the truth of the matter. And doing this, some people might see it as though you are denying them or you are preventing them from actually starting maybe life on a stronger foot. So I don't know what the answer will be to this particular question.
So thank you, Asari. What you have said is true. And when you don't have the responsibility to care for the safety of others, it might be an easier argument. But it is not. So you can compare this to a parent in a home. Okay, there are things that sometimes your children want. They think it will make them happy. But if you see the danger in it, it is your responsibility to protect them. The government of Ghana, through Parliament, has given the Ghana Standards Authority a responsibility to protect the people. That is our job. So even if a person cannot see the danger, it is our responsibility to make sure that they are protected. So take any of the parameters that are there.
Yeah.
Okay? The first example you gave may be even worse because the person can see the damage and they are still saying...
Usually you say that...
it will be fixed, right?
When you're looking for accident cars, you look at the ones that were hit at the back.
Yeah.
And it's safer to purchase those ones.
So to speak for the driver, right? But the day the second accident will happen, there may be somebody else in the back seat of that vehicle, not the driver.
Right.
Now that person might be affected. So when you are protecting, you are not only protecting the driver, you are protecting everybody that is in the vehicle. Now that safety cage is compromised from that first one, and now it's getting involved in the second one. We don't want this to happen. Even if through this you even save one life, that is valuable. Okay, you can't put any value, monetary value on life. We can't do that. So people will purchase these vehicles, fix them like you said. It looks very nice, and it may be presented to somebody for them to purchase. They have probably no idea what the true condition of that vehicle was. Can we, to some extent, guarantee some level of safety? Minimum requirement. You see where the minimum requirement?
I understand.
So that anybody
who
who will get a vehicle that is coming in, that vehicle should have these minimum requirements in terms of it's not flat damage, it's not burned by fire and repaired, the safety cage is intact. Indeed, these are the things that we're looking at. It's like I said again, it was unfortunate we hammered only on the age. But ask yourself, for over 2 decades or more, we've had in our customs rule an age limit of 10 years, with penalties moving upwards. What was the reason for it? Why did we not just leave it open, everything the same? Our ancestors, so to speak, those who have come before us, had noticed long ago that we needed this limit to be able to protect our people. It is our inability to enforce it that allows us to give some penalties. But the older the vehicle is, the more pollutants and emissions they have, because they have older technologies for emission control. The same with the efficiency of the engine. You have a younger engine, they are more fuel efficient, and therefore, as a country as a whole, you reduce your energy consumption because all the vehicles in your country are younger. Number 3, the vehicles tend to stay longer. If you are buying older vehicles, then they will terminate earlier. If you have younger vehicles, then they last the person who is getting them a longer period of time. So generally, these are the protections that come from just meeting only these minimum requirements. And I keep saying minimum. As we go around the world and we check, some countries have biosecurity involved in for used vehicles. Involved. You would have to heat treat a vehicle before you send it. You have to fumigate it. You have to, so many we didn't add them. Emission testing, we didn't add it to the requirement. So I know some people are saying maybe we should do a roadworthy test, but it was an avoidance of roadworthy testing that brought us here. And I remember this very well when we were developing the standard. Oh, but if the bumper is spoiled and the light is spoiled and the tire is damaged, but we can fix it.
Yes.
The moment you come and add in roadworthy requirements, now it means that all those damages, you are not bringing it to Ghana to come and fix. It should have been fixed there before and tested.
Because it's cheaper to fix it here.
So let's allow it, because our people need the job. It can be fixed, and there's nothing wrong with fixing those minor damages. So let's allow them to come and be fixed here, and only sift out the worst forms out of it. So that was what was done in the standard. So we would appreciate if the media can capture all the safety issues that are in there that need that this standard and its enforcement will help protect our fellow Ghanaians of.
Thank you very much. So I guess the other argument will be that, one, now I'm not able to purchase a car because the one that I can afford is the 15-year-old vehicles. The other thing is that now, because I'm not able to purchase a car, I'll go to Kanishi station and I'll go and board a trotro. This trotro that I'm going to take to go to the office is in a worse condition, far worse than the car that I intend importing into the country. And yet we allow it to move on our roads. We allow the vehicles to move on our roads, to commute, go in and out, with the fact that they have a roadworthy sticker. But when you look at some of them, when you go to the Kanishi station and you go and join a queue, wait for hours, and then the car finally arrives, what you are going to see sitting, when you even go to, my producer is shouting in my ear that Teba station, the vehicles are in a deplorable state.
Yeah.
So, yet we allow them to roam freely on our roads. For instance, when you compare a 2010 Toyota Corolla, which is 15 years older, and with this new standard, or not with this, it's not new, with this standard enforcement, it can't be brought into the country anymore. So when you compare this, it looks as though maybe we should have started by enforcing the standards of the vehicles in our country first, before we look to enforce those that we are bringing into the country, because those that we are bringing into the country may seem to be in a far better condition than the ones that are currently running on our streets. And then I'll go with another question. What about other vehicles that are passed as antiques that we want to also bring into the country? So 2 in 1. I don't know who would want to tackle them.
Let me try. Yeah, the argument you made is sound.
Yeah,
it's true. And we do acknowledge that there are vehicles that may come in that attempt to come in that are older than 15 years, which may be in a better condition than some of the vehicles that are on our road. Work needs to be done in terms of the vehicle fleet in country and on the roads at the moment. We agree to that. And we are working with sister agencies whose responsibility it is for that part. So the DVLA, the Driver Vehicle Licensing Authority, as well as the National Road Safety Authority, responsible for what's happening on the road, are indeed our partners in doing this. But I personally don't like to talk about things that are yet to happen. It's as if public service institutions, we are fond of wanting to say, oh, we will do this, we will do this, and then we never do. Okay? So just to say that there are talks going on how to handle in-country vehicles. And just to make you understand that the problem is even bigger than you have described. Okay? In addition to all of this, as it stands right now, Ghana, we don't have a deregistration policy. Have you ever deregistered any vehicle? Like you register a vehicle, the vehicle is no longer functioning. Do you deregister it? No, we don't have
register it to perpetuity.
It's just there. It's just there. Do we have a vehicle end of life scrap policy?
No.
We don't as a country. If you say the vehicle is no longer fit, where is it going? Who values the vehicle? Who strips the vehicle? Where do the stripped parts go? And for sustainability, you should be able to identify reusable parts, channel them to the right place. You should be able to identify recyclable parts, channel them to the right place. We have not done a lot of these things. So I just want you to understand that work needs to be done. Now, those who are even providing servicing to vehicles, you say, let's just say, like you just said, the vehicle on the road is not fit.
Yeah.
Somebody is responsible for repairing or maintaining it.
Yeah.
Who is checking whether they are doing a good job, that they have the right training, they have the right competence, equipment. So some work needs to be done in that area. And indeed, a lot of conversations are going on between the agencies on how this will be done. That notwithstanding, the tap is still open. Should we be allowing more to come in whilst we mop up what is happening? So that's the analogy I like to give. You have a tap that is spilling water in your home. What do? You mop the floor or you close the tap first? Which one do you do?
You close the tap.
You close the tap first, then you mop the floor. Please, we are closing the tap. Okay? We are closing the tap at this time. So once the tap is closed, now we come to what we have in country and we say, look, how do we now mop up what is in there? But I think your second half of the question
is that there are some vehicles that may pass on as antiques. They are in a very good condition, but they are maybe 20, 30, 40 years
70 years.
Yes.
Yeah, we are aware of that. And the standard caters for these.
For antiques.
For antiques. So you need to apply. Just write to the authority and explain that this vehicle is in this condition and if it qualifies for that, permission can be granted for you to bring that in.
So what about a vehicle that is in a very good condition? For instance, my father owns a ranch in Texas, and it's a vehicle that has been passed on in our family line, and it's something that is special.
Okay.
I've moved and I'm staying in Ghana now. I want to bring that particular vehicle to Ghana so that we can actually use it on our farm that we are building as well. Does this also apply to this thing? So
you would need to write and request for that special dispensation if this is the situation, providing the evidence of what it is that you have said.
So you can apply for special dispensation?
You can. Okay. You can. Okay? You can do so. So if there is a special situation, these one-off situations, they can be dealt with on those bases. But to say that because you have this situation, then everybody should...
But don't you also think so? Let me just engage you a little. Don't you think that with this gap for special dispensation being open, it can be exploited, especially by the people that work within the car import and export industry, to actually maybe still bring in some of the cars that they may deem to be antiques, if I can put them in inverted commas that way?
Sure. So let me just add that it's not as easy as it may seem, because Government of Ghana, through Ghana Standards Authority and in collaboration with Ghana Revenue Authority, is coming out very soon with a platform called VEDIS, where it will be used to verify the efficacy of these vehicles coming in as much as that will be allowed. Importers, who are mainly car dealers and individuals, are supposed to register on these platforms. So if you have registered on the platform as a car dealer, you cannot give me several of these stories to bring in cars to sell to consumers. And if you are an individual doing that too, there's a certain limit to the number of vehicles you can bring in per year. So there are certain measures that have been put in place to curb these things. Like we mentioned earlier on, some of these consultations have gone on and some of these suggestions came up. So these are some of the measures that Government of Ghana is trying to put in place to curb it. But I must add that it's quite important how we value ourselves as Ghanaians. I'm sure if you step out, the ordinary Ghanaian will probably value Ghana in high esteem much more than, let's say, our neighbors Cote d'Ivoire, right? It will surprise you to know that there are some basic things that some of these countries that we Ghana keep calling ourselves the gateway to West Africa and all that. But when it comes to actually putting your foot to the pedal and stepping on the acceleration to make sure that we are propelling ourselves towards the future, we sort of have little reasons to fall back. Like Prentice mentioned earlier, it will be easier if these decisions we are taking are individual decisions, but not when you have Ghanaians to protect. You know, these measures are there. If you take Cote d'Ivoire, for example, they have an age limit of 5 years. And this didn't happen in 2026 or 2025. It's been there for a while. If you take Kenya, Kenya has an age limit for the ban of importation into their countries, which is 8 years. They've had this running for more than 15, getting to 20 years.
Wow.
I hope you understand.
Yeah.
Take a country like Gabon. Gabon has the same. But if you should ask, like you say, an ordinary Ghanaian, would you rather work and make a living in Ghana or work and make a living in Gabon? Which one would you prefer?
No, I work in Ghana.
You work in Ghana. We see ourselves as a model country. So we should let our actions also, you know, go according to what we say.
There's some stern words to Ghanaians that if we claim that we are the gateway to Africa, then we should act as such. And these, I'm also receiving quite a lot of messages coming in from our viewers, but I'll be able to just select a few and then read some of them. So this one is coming from Mr. Mensah. He's watching us from Kumasi. He says, Ghana Standards Authority, interesting conversation. What options do I have if my vehicle is rejected at the port? Because I'm guessing that he knows this, but sometimes some Ghanaians could be stubborn and knowing that the vehicles will come in maybe and claim ignorance, but ignorance before the law is no excuse in the first place anyway. So should someone like that, should a car come in like that, what are some of the sanctions that are going to apply?
We want to prevent that from happening. So the proactive measure is that we have engaged third-party accredited inspection bodies around the world. Now, these are going to carry out the inspection of the vehicle in the country of origin and issue a certificate of conformance to indicate that the vehicle meets the standard before he ships.
Is it going to add any price to the vehicles that they are going to be importing into the country? Will it make it more expensive?
Well, there is a charge to employing or contracting that third party to do this. However, it is important to know that the practice around the world is that this is an exporter fee. So just imagine I am in Ghana, I want to send something to another country.
Yeah.
I will find out what their standards are and have my product tested or inspected here. I get my certificate, then I ship it.
Okay.
So it is the exporter, whoever is on the other side, whose responsibility it is to do this. Once he receives that certificate of conformance, the responsibility has shifted from him now to the inspection body, and the vehicle gets to Ghana, we confirm and he's free to go. So we are trying to avoid that situation with him having to struggle when he gets here.
So there are some few messages because our time is fast spent.
Yeah.
So I'll just pick some of them and then we'll talk about them. So beyond stopping old vehicles from entering Ghana, when will we see serious enforcement on the old vehicles already carrying passengers on our road? This is from Samuel Dako, who is watching us from Sunyane. I'll take another one. I'm sure we've tackled that one a little bit. This one says that GSA must engage media a lot because the cars and vehicles I see. To my question, the Ghana Standards Authority is working with key stakeholders, including customs, DVLA, vehicle dealers, and transport operators to ensure enforcement of the new vehicle standards. Okay, it's the Ghana Standards Authority working with the key stakeholders.
Yes.
I'm sure you've
The
also
answer is
answered
yes.
that. This is coming from G Inspire in Hacho. My producer is shouting, it's time. So, unfortunately, we need to pause to take a breather here, and then I'll take your last words for this particular segment. And I'm sure and I'm hopeful that we actually do want to have you more to talk about some of these policies. We have a program called Policy Pulse, so we would like to have you on them as well.
If my boss says I should come, I will come.
All right, so I'll just pause for some few words before we sign out.
Okay, so first of all, we would like to thank you and your viewers, those who tuned in, those who watched, those who sent messages, for making time to listen to us, because this is quite an important message that we want to get across to Ghanaians, and for them to be well assured that whatever we are doing, like I keep saying, is in the interest of all of us and to protect us. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Macmillan.
I'll also say thank you.
Yes.
And I would like to say thank you to the general public. Indeed, the support has been great. We know there are a few people who may disagree with one aspect or another, but overall we can see an interest by the public to actually see that standards are enforced in the country. So we would appreciate some more support, not just for us, but for all our sister agencies as well. DVLA, NRSA, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Trade. Please help us to be able to improve the situation in the sector in Ghana.
With permission, I've seen one particular last question that I want to read. I know we've already said our thank yous, but this one says, last question, what should I check before paying for a used vehicle to avoid falling foul of the new rule? This is from Mr. Mensah. The earlier one, he's from Kumasi.
So just tell him he should first register with the Ghana Standards Authority. We gave them.
So he's just buying a vehicle.
Buying a vehicle as an individual.
As an individual.
So he should register as a private importer.
Wow.
He can import up to 2 vehicles a year in his own name. Register with his Ghana card, free registration. And when he does so, we give him our third-party inspection body. Let them do the inspection. They are the experts. They know what to look for in the vehicle to protect himself.
And registration is free of charge.
The registration is free as a private importer.
And you will still give us an additional person, or you give us the access to
the third-party inspection body, and you engage them
for free
to carry out. They will do the inspection for you. You pay them. So that inspection body, you pay them for the service, and then you don't lose anything else, because now you are sure that the vehicle you are buying meets the standards. Okay, so you can always send an email to auto@gsa.gov.gh.
Please, can you mention that?
auto@gsa.gov.gh.
Okay. All right. So that's the email that you can actually send your request to auto@gsa.gov.gh. That's the email that you can actually send the request through, and I'm sure that Mr. Prentice and Mr. Deborah would be able to do justice to your mails when you do that. It's been a pleasure. And now today we've learned that standards are the minimum requirements that we have to actually conform to. And then we can even go, or we should even aspire to go beyond the standards to show that we are truly the gateway of Africa. It's been an interesting conversation for us right here in the studios here at Clock TV. A very big thank you to Mr. Macmillan Prentice and then Mr. Deborah as well for gracing our studios with such in-depth knowledge and analysis on this particular subject matter. But before we zone out, I know it's the birthday. It's a birthday to someone that we've received a message from. He says, "Happy birthday to my beautiful wife to be, Kate. I love you so much and thank you for being there for me always. This is from your love, David." This is a birthday. We missed out on the birthday segment, so this is a special shout out to you. Happy birthday to my beautiful wife to be, Kate. I love you so much and thank you for being there for me always. This is from your love, David. It's not me, it's David that sent it. So happy birthday to you, Kate, and we wish you all the best from here at Clock TV. Thank you very much once again for gracing our studios. This is how we sign out on the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Nanaya Asari. Stick and stay and enjoy the rest of our programs.